My name is Claus Frisenberg Povlsen. I live in Copenhagen, Denmark. For my real-life work, I work at the DBC, Danish Bibliographic Center in Copenhagen. There we supply the entire Danish library systems with metadata on printed books released in Denmark, commercial music, videos, articles, all kinds of that. 2 or 3 years ago, I started my own company working in Second Life, where I tried to transfer the music services we do real life into 3D environments. And we opened this pop art lab experiment in January 2008. There we stream brand new CDs, albums. We stream them 24/7, running on four streams divided into four listening booths, representing four different genres in rock music, electronic music, soul, and pop music. So to speak, it was like transferring traditional services we usually do for print for albums, releasing printed text about the best new releases each week. So at this in this sim in Second Life, we have by now almost 600 members who come frequently listening to the music. Many come tell me, "Wow, Claus, thank you. We heard this CD in your lab and we went out to buy it." So I could talk many hours about the copyright conflicts streaming music in a virtual world. I won't do that, but it's interesting to see how people come, sit and relax. Some of them basically just work on stuff on the web. Others communicate with other avatars, and we have talked like, "Oh, I like that song too. Hey, you have to see this video on YouTube." So it's all about music, and we are open for everyone, whatever kind of race or musical genre or whatever political opinions they have. It's all about the love of music, and later on, when we have opened, we have a massive traffic and lots of people. I think we are up at 30,000 visitors now. A professor at Stanford University in California told me if you scaled up our visitors to the web, we would have had more than 1 million hits, which is quite interesting and huge numbers. You don't think about that. But anyway, after a year or so, I was contacted by the biggest television broadcasting company in Second Life, called, back then they were called SLCN TV. Now they changed their name to Treat TV, and they asked me if I would like to make 3D music television. And basically, it works like they come they record all the stuff. All I have to do is to find some musicians who want to go into Second Life. If they don't have an avatar, we help create an avatar, and we make an interview, a 30 minutes interview, where we ask them about how it is to play in virtual worlds, and we have invited an audience. We are typically 40 to 50 people in the audience. Right after the interview, they go up on stage and stream a live concert, which means they sit somewhere in the world real life with their instruments. But they have an avatar inside Second Life. Maybe their wife would control it while it's obvious you can't play a guitar and play a game at the same time. So these shows have kind of it's not weekly shows. We do them. It's very hard for musicians to enter. There's a lot of technical and learning curve in Second Life. So sometimes we have made like 15 to 18 shows now during the last year. We have had Greg Hawkes from an old 70s, 80s band called the Cars, which were actually very, very huge back then. So it was very special for me to sit in my house almost the first time I used Skype, interviewing a rock star who had been playing at Live Aid in front of millions of people in the 80s, who right after the Cars in Live Aid, Madonna was playing in 1984. So then suddenly I sit there in my house interviewing such a rock legend. It was very compelling to me, and what I think, I do this for fun. For me, it's to create a script to answer, to make the questions to this rock star. I'm not a journalist, I'm a music librarian, but I've always been very fascinated by music and music history. So that's about it, and then we have set up a team. It has expanded the team. We are about, I would say, 5 devoted, 100% devoted people in my company. They don't get paid each month. They get paid like, okay, we need to make this virtual buildings and stuff, graphics and stuff. And I ask them, okay, how many hours do you think this will take? And they do it because they like it. And we are actually friends. We have met 2 or 3 years ago virtual, and we know exactly what's going on in our minds. So when I say I want a building that represents some certain architecture, they know what I want. They know I want some futuristic, very compelling buildings. And that's one of the other issues. We actually don't make very much replica of designs. Most of our designs are futuristic designs, which is we don't think it's the way to do it, to replicate everything in virtual worlds from the real life. We want to. The 3D medium is so powerful, so why replicate everything real life? It's a bit like when they started to make movies in the 30s or so. And what did they do? They went to the theater, and then they recorded the theater. And then they had a movie, and they said, what should we do? But now suddenly this theater could be transmissioned out to the whole world by TV, instead of only the 50 people coming to the real life theater. And that's lots of other examples of media exchange over time. We have the painters back then who always painted portraits until we had the photographic camera. Then suddenly no one painted portraits anymore because people could take a picture. So that's how I see the virtual worlds. We are not quite yet found out how we really can use them. And we'll see during the next 5 years that some of the stuff we made in the start of, let's say, Second Life Born, some of that we would laugh at it in 5 years, I think.